Welcome back to Peace, Love and Tarot. This reading is for Pisces, Sun, Moon or Rising, and it's the weekly reading for the week of September 30th to October the 6th. Your cards this week, Pisces, you have Sisterhood of the Rose Oracle card. We have the Knight of Cups, the Three of Cups, the Two of Cups, Seven of Wands, Eight of Cups, and the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, I don't normally call things as sort of love readings, Pisces, but I do see a whole lot of cups energy going on here, which is, as we know, the emotional feelings realms, and we do clearly have some partnership energy. So we'll see how that unfolds in the reading. But first of all, I'm just going to read you out your oracle card here, which doesn't necessarily link to the love reading, but Pisces, you've had intense spiritual readings for quite a few, I don't know, 6-8 weeks now, and I think this is just you, reassuring me, hey, look, this is who I am a Pisces, I'm a pretty deep spiritual character, again, we always see it in your oracle cards. So Sisterhood of the Rose, beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, teacher. The Sisterhood of the Rose is a lineage of priestesses and mystics who devoted their lives to serving humanity and seeding light consciousness all over the earth. A cross-section of ancient lineages, it is the path of devotion and beauty. Walking this path means being devoted to seeing and creating beauty. Wherever you go, the rose symbolizes the heart and the sacred geometry of all life. You are being called to notice the beauty around you, particularly in nature, and hear the whispers of Mother Earth. So Pisces, I really think at this time you might be quite magnetically attractive. You might be being seen as being quite charismatic, quite charming, even quite beautiful to many people, because I think a lot of you really are quite aligned with your soul self, your highest purpose, that kind of thing. When somebody's in alignment, they carry a very strong energy which others can be very attracted to. So yeah, I do see you being very attractive this week, just saying, so enjoy that. But let's look at your recent past. I'm going to start with the Seven of Wands and the Eight of Cups. Yeah, so look, I think in the recent past, some of you have found yourself in a situation that hasn't been fulfilling for you on a soul level, on an emotional emotional level. This is a general reading. It can be different from everyone. We could read this reading in terms of a partnership that lies outside of the romantic realm. So whether it's a partnership, a creative partnership, a business partnership, something like that. But for many of you, I do see that it will be a love situation. So whatever the situation is for you, it was clear to you, or becoming clear over time, that there was a fundamental piece of the puzzle missing. So if you're in a partnership, you might have had, good chemistry and, had shared the same views on money. Maybe you wanted to live in the same place, but there was one fundamental value that is so important to you that you didn't share. It's that kind of thing. If it's a career situation, it's, having a great job where you really, really love the people you work with. You might even have the money that you want, but there's no progression for you in that role. So there's that one piece missing. And, that really starts to kind of niggle at you over time, and then you sort of reach a point where you may think, well, I really have, I've gotten all I can from this. I'm really going to hit the tracks. I'm going to have to move on, because what I truly desire is a 9 or 10 of Cups reality, not an 8 of Cups reality where there's a couple of fundamental pieces missing. And I feel for, once you kind of had this realization, or potentially before that as well, the situation's really just kind of become hard work to stay in, quite challenging for you. That Seven of Wands can also be that sense of inner challenge, being challenged as to whether to stay or go from that situation, feeling like you were kind of fighting to stay in there. Because, as we know, once we kind of have a realization about something, once we see, we cannot unsee. Once we, something is kind of brought to our attention, it's very difficult to then return back to the state that you were in before that. There's no sort of turning back to ignorant bliss. So I think you really had to kind of battle on and push through to stay in the situation. But there comes a time where, that wears you down. And, even though, the 7 is the card of warrior spirit, I think there's only so much of that kind of battle of the fight that you can kind of put in to stay in something before you really just want to move on to a path of less resistance. Relationships, jobs, situations, all the big kind of factors in our life, we should be in flow with them. We want something that flows and unfolds naturally. If we are having to, sort of fight or be really challenged on an internal or external way to be in them, that's when it kind of really wears down our energy. Intuitively, I think you've known that it's time for you to move on. Some of you may have already moved on. Some of you might be in the process of it now, or some of you might be about to. But what I see for you, Pisces, when you do move on from that situation, is I see one big old relief, one sense of relief, actually, even celebration energy. That 3 of Cups is about that feeling of, oh, God, thank goodness I'm out of that situation. Now I can actually just get on and enjoy my life, enjoying with other people, getting back to, having the time and energy to reconnect with friends and family, to celebrate the abundance that you do have in your life, to raise your cup. It's a really beautiful energy. It's kind of like that lightness that you get after releasing a heavy weight in your life, releasing a burden. Sometimes we have a surge of energy. I think that's what you might be feeling this week. And, you're actually coming into a period of greater balance, because when we're in a situation that's not serving us, like I said, you're fighting the battle, you're having to persist and have resilience to stay in it. It can tip your energetic scales on a downturn. But I see you this week, actually becoming more even keeled again. The situation might have been one that you kind of felt like you were more like these guys who was just kind of taking what you could get, or even being breadcrumbed by somebody or ghosted. But now, you're moving into a place where the scales are evened out. And we're in Libra season, so it's all about balance. There's a big theme of balance going on at the moment. Sometimes to achieve balance in our lives, we need to purge and release, and that's what I've seen you doing here. And I think you're really gonna celebrate that. Number 6 here, it says that there's real harmony and growth on offer from leaving the situation. And you're going to feel very proud of yourself for being able to move on. You're also going to start attracting more abundance into your life, and you're just going to feel more balanced overall. So that's a great position to be in. And when we have that lighter energy field, when we've released something, we create space. We create space to attract something else into our lives. And that's what I see happening in your near future, Pisces. If that doesn't say attracting in a partnership, I'm not too sure what does. We have the Knight of Cups and we have the 2 of Cups. So as mentioned previously, yes, this can be a romantic partnership, and it can be a very strong one too. A soul connection, twin flame, if you're into that. If this is not a love reading for you and you're already partnered, this could be a return to self-love. Or it could also be that business partnership, that creative partnership that you've really always been seeking. Either way, the Knight of Cups coming into your life is somebody who's very charismatic, somebody who's very magnetic. I see you also being in that energy, after this, you've walked away from the current situation, partnership, whatever it is. And, this Knight of Cups, they are going to offer you something. They're going to make you an offering that has the potential to fill you on an emotional and feelings level. And yes, it could be a love offer. And that 2 of Cups here, shows that union coming together. It really shows you taking up on that offer. So I think you are going to pursue it. I think it's a great idea to do that, and yes, it could be a water sign. I don't get too much into the specific signs, but it could be another fellow water sign, so Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer, or even a Leo, because it links to Leo here. But essentially it could be anyone, and it could be just somebody that embodies some of those qualities as well. So yeah, beautiful energy coming in here. One little warning is when we end a situation or walk away from it, try to cut the energetic cords from that situation. So what I mean by that is to release all the attachments to it, you know, not sitting around thinking about it, maybe doing some space clearing, maybe, you know, getting rid of mementos, that kind of thing that remind you of that situation, because even though we've left a situation, if we are still holding the energy of it, for one, we can hinder new opportunities coming in from our lives, and also we can attract in similar energy opportunities or situations to the one that we had. So we want to make sure that we release that so we can attract in from a higher vibrational place. So we're attracting something that's more aligned to us on a soul level. So Pisces, that's what I have for you. It's a beautiful reading. You know, don't fear letting go or walking away from something, because you've only got more beautiful things that are just going to fulfill you on a much greater level coming in. I hope you enjoyed the reading, Pisces. Keep in mind it is a general reading. It won't be for all of you. Leave me a comment. I'd love to know how it's playing out in your daily life, and I'll see you back here next week for another reading.